Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. This is ChukwumaijemNwosu, okay, the solutionist, and we are back today. We have a very interesting topic to talk about. Today, I was gonna give a couple of tips on how to buy low and sell high in the whole online market game. Capitalizing on eBay, Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Overstock. There's so many other websites that you can play the whole retail arbitrage with. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So over the years, it's been a while that I actually did anything pertaining to this business, right? As far as one second, let me enhance the light. I believe. Let's get some light in here. Okay. So it's been a couple of years since I last did anything really on this level of this level of activity, right? Flipping cars, phones, iPads, auto parts, forklifts, couches, watches, houses, whatever, because I remember back in the day, excuse me, when I was in pharmacy school, when I was in pharmacy school, I used to flip cell phones, right? This was back then when you had to like jailbreak the phones, and then you bought an Apple iPhone from a seller that was desperate in the suburbs or some kid, and then you bought it for like 200 bucks, 250, and then you went on to jailbreak the iPhone, right? And then once you jailbroke the iPhone, you now took it, cleaned it up, boxed it up. You could buy some boxes off eBay, and then once you buy the boxes, now you box up the phone and then basically you sell it as a refurbished, right? And then some of these cell phones at that time was selling for hefty amounts. I'm talking about like I used to sell them for 650, 700 bucks. I had people buying them from Australia from me for like $800. So that was huge because you are going into a business, buying a product for 200 to $250 in, and you're coming out with $800 on the other side after maybe a jailbreak pin that cost you about, let's say, $25, sometimes $15, at the most $50. You get the code to unlock the phone. So those were the sweet days, right? I mean, at the height of doing that business, I was making about, I want to say, $400 a day. I remember one time alone, I had about $12,000 stuck in my PayPal account. So that was how much money was coming in because people were buying so much because people wanted the iPhone, but they wanted it jailbroken. Okay, they didn't want the other stuff that people had. They want the jailbroken phone so that they could use it in their respective countries. People were buying from India, Norway, Sweden. They were buying my phones from all over the world. So that was exciting. That was a rush. So today I'm gonna give you a highlight. I'm gonna talk to you about, by the way, guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope I said that. And I thank you guys that always come and watch and see what we got going on over here. And I promise you, stick around, you get some value out of every content that's going to be posted up on this channel, right? So on this channel, we're mostly going to talk about what makes money. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you can buy low and sell high, taking advantage of the online market game, basically specifically directed at platforms such as eBay, OfferUp, Craigslist, Marketplace, and the likes, right? So the first thing that I found that you could take advantage when it comes to these online platforms is cars, right? When it comes to cars, cars are very tricky. When owners have their cars and they're ready to sell it, they don't know what to sell it for, depending on the condition, right? So they use KBB, and sometimes they really undershoot what the car could go for, right? They really undershoot. I remember Olumide, one of my boys, rest in peace. He used to go on Craig Marketplace and hunt down all these cars, right? He would buy all these Toyota Avalons for 3,500, 2,500, 4,000, 5,000, and he ended up selling it for $8,000, 9,000. In one case, I remember he sold a pearl white Avalon for about $11,000 during the pandemic. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do to put yourself in a good position to capitalize on some of these opportunities. So you could go to a website such as Craigslist, which a lot of people don't go on anymore. A lot of people are usually not on Craigslist anymore. So most people now are on Marketplace. So you want to avoid Marketplace when you're trying to get some of these cars. You want to go to a place where nobody's going, where things are supposedly going to be undervalued. Okay. And sometimes, don't get it twisted, you might find good deals on marketplace, and usually those good deals will be in very far places. So you want to go over there, fetch those cars, bring them into the city, do a little bit of rehab cleanup, you know, spray what needs to be sprayed, detail what needs to be detailed, replace the parts that need to be replaced, fix mechanical issues, and now the value of that car has risen. Now you can capitalize on that value that you just added on the car. So let's say you got the car for 2,500. Now after fixing everything wrong with it, now that car is not worth 2,500 anymore. Now the value of that car has risen all the way to whatever you say it is, or whatever the actual KBB says it is. Now it's closer to the KBB than before. Because sometimes the KBB value is 5,000, but the seller sold it to you for 2,500 because there's so much wrong with it, and the seller does not want to put up with it. So they sell it under the KBB value. And sometimes that value can be as much as anywhere from $500 to $5,000. So that's what you need to look out for. You need to pay attention to that and make sure that that room is there for you to make profit. Okay, I remember in one case actually, I sold a Mercedes Benz SL 500 to a kid that, a guy that, he sells. I think he flips cars in the suburbs. So I sold him this Mercedes Benz of mine that I use for the summertime. I sold it to him for, I believe, somewhere between 4,500 and 6,500. He turned around, listed in the suburb, and made an extra $2,000 on the car. So these are the ways that you could buy low, sell high, taking advantage of the online market experience, right? These are some of the ways you could do that. So he bought it from me. In this guy's case, he bought my black Mercedes from me on Marketplace. He cleaned it up, fixed a couple of issues, took nicer pictures than I did, and he posted it back on Marketplace. And he was still able to make a significant sum of money. $2,000 is a lot of money for something you just bought and flipped. That's good money. If it's not a lot of money, it's good money, right? And he was able to capitalize on that, and he took advantage of that opportunity. The next thing I want to talk about is my favorite. These phones and iPads. Okay, phones and iPads, the value always fluctuate, and the best way to see this value fluctuation is on eBay. When you go on eBay, you monitor most of the iPads and iPhones that are about to sell, the ones that have 38 seconds left, or sorry, 38 minutes left, the ones that have 10 minutes left. Look at the price, and then look at the price when it's a 5 minutes left, and then go look at the price you're going to see it at Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, right? And then based on that price, you could really come to a conclusion and say to yourself, where can I buy low and sell high? Once you identify the low spot and the high spot, you're in business. All you have to do is buy from the low side, post it on the high side, and get your money. And in most cases, it used to be buy from Craigslist low and sell high on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, mostly eBay. Okay. Then the next thing I want to talk about is auto parts. Auto parts is another favorite one of mine, right? Because auto parts is very this one is here. This one is very special because the prices are never set on stone. Most of the time, the prices for auto parts is exactly what the owner says it is, right? Because sometimes you could post a part in the market and nobody has it, and somebody wants it real bad, and it could be something that if a bunch of people or two people posted or three people, that could basically detect or dictate what the market going price is. But because nobody else is posted and you're the only one in the market, you control the narrative. Let me give you an example. One time I had a pair of Range Rover headlights, right? I posted on the market. Nobody else had it on any other marketplace besides eBay, right? And the people on eBay were selling it for about $400, $500, $800 for just one headlight. And because I was one of the only guys that had it on OfferUp, right? I was able to post one headlight for $500, and I quickly sold it, right? And that was just to my advantage because nobody else was on there offering the same service. So auto parts is something you should be looking into. Don't neglect this, especially those xenon headlights. They come in very expensive. If you could get a xenon headlight with the ballast and all that stuff in the bulb, take advantage of that. Look into that, grab it, clean it up, post it online. That's money. Like tail lights, LED tail lights. What else goes for good money? Like airbags, airbag modules, ECMs, BCMs, all that computer stuff. All these things are money. They go for very good money. The computer and electronic components in the car. Those are good money. You could turn it into a business, go to the junkyards, pull these parts, and post it on eBay all day. You will get buyers all year round. The next thing is forklifts. I know this one is like kind of tricky because forklifts, what? What are you talking about? Well, how am I gonna get forklifts? How am I gonna flip forklifts? How am I gonna sell forklifts? Forklifts is big money because the only people that buy forklifts are people with big money. Losers, poor people, broke people don't buy forklifts. Forklifts is for businessmen. Businessmen have a lot of money. And if you are able to capitalize and know where to get forklifts for cheap, deal with the headache of the transportation, storage, you're gonna make a lot of money. I remember back then, my boy, one of my guys, he owns a warehouse, a container warehouse where they were loading containers that go to Africa. He was buying forklifts for about $3,000 on the auction from one of my friends, and he would help him bid on the forklift, bring it back, and this guy would go turn around and flip the forklift for $10,000, $15,000 because already he's used to buying forklifts. And when the forklifts came, he went through the whole process of rehabbing them, putting them back in dope shape, making sure that everything works with them, putting a cylinder of propane, making sure that it's just in good working condition. And then he turned around, took good pictures, and then posted them for sale. And he made huge profit. The next one is couches, right? Couches are very simple because I myself I dabble in couches, not on the big scale, but I change my couches a lot. Like my couch a lot. If I see a couch that I like, brand new couch, used couch, whatever. I see it on marketplace, and I could basically go back and forth with the seller on the price, and I see that the seller has a willingness to negotiate or play with the price. That is usually an opportunity for me. Like for example, let me. I bought a tufted office chair for $50. It had a rip in it, right? I had a leather guy patch it up, and I was able to sell that chair for $250 on the same marketplace. Bought it for $50 on marketplace, invested about $25 fixing the patch, and I sold it back on marketplace for $250. So these are some of the ways that you could buy low and sell high, taking advantage of the online marketplace experience, right? Like you could do that on eBay, Craigslist, Marketplace, OfferUp. These are some of the the hottest names in the game as far as doing this. Okay, so couches, that's how you do it. Another thing to look into is like Chesterfields, right? Chesterfield couches are one of the most premium couches. Like right now, I have something close to a Chesterfield, but a Chesterfield is what I really want, and I'm gonna get it. The problem is that I keep finding Chesterfields and they're far away. I have one Chesterfield in my living room, and I'm looking for more. And the problem is that most of the time when you find these Chesterfields, they're far away. And when you find them far away, they're usually very affordable. But when you find them in the city of Chicago, apparently there's already a lot of people doing this. Not a lot of people, but people that know because it's kind of cash intensive because the Chesterfields are not going for cheap. So it's a couch that you have to invest things like 300, 500, $1,000 to get one, and then you clean it up, and then you turn around to sell it for 2,000, 2,500. These are really premium couches. They're very expensive, and when you put them in your house, they make your place look very elegant. That's why I want it. You sit on it, it makes you feel like a boss. One of some, if you watch some of my previous videos, you see me sitting on my black Chesterfield. Those are very nice chairs to have. They're very sturdy, very stable, and they're very majestic. All right, so you need to look into that. The next thing is watches, right? So when you go into this marketplace, right, and you're trying to make money off the online experience, right, buying low and selling high, you need to look into watches. There's a lot of people getting rid of Rolexes. I see Rolexes every day on the marketplace. But of course, you don't want to run up on someone and just buy their Rolex. That's not what you want to do. You want to be able to get in touch with a seller, establish a relationship with them, communicate with them, go research the what you're trying to buy and know everything about it, especially how to spot a fake or a counterfeit, right? So once you figure out how to spot the counterfeit, process, how to identify what makes a watch original and what makes it counterfeit. Now you're in good standing. So now the next part is this: you got to now plan to meet up with the buyer and figure out if you are confident in your abilities to basically your ability to figure or discern that the watch you're holding in your hand is original. If you don't have that ability to make the call and tell that that watch is original, do not gamble. Opt out to take the watch and go see a jeweler to validate the watch before you pay. Because sometimes these Rolexes run as much as 3,500, 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000, and up, even up to 50, 100,000. So you don't want to give somebody that kind of money when you're not sure of what you're buying. So you want to validate your purchase before payment. So take the watch to a jeweler or go online and study everything about the watch that makes it original. But I would always say the best route to go is to go to a jeweler, have them put it under a microscope and make sure it's original. Because sometimes some of these watches I've heard that they actually have very good replicas that you almost won't be able to tell that they're fake. So that's how you want to do it. But the watch business is a very good, it's a very good game right now. They're appreciating a lot. A lot of watches are appreciating the Rolexes. Some prices are coming down. Some prices on the way up. So you just need to watch the trend, dig in for information, uh, educate yourself on what is really going up and what is on the way down. And then once you figure that out, the next step is to see what is a good price point to get in on what's going up, and then buy it and then go post it somewhere. You could actually make some profit as it's on its way up. Yeah, I've had a couple of people contact me, a couple of friends that flip cars, that sell cars, that do a bunch of stuff that are into real estate, and they asked me about the watch business and the watch game, flipping watches, and I showed them and gave them a couple of tips, looked up YouTube videos and sent to them and told them, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you go about flipping watches. And I believe they took that and ran with it. The last one is real estate. I don't know much about real estate. I have very good support system when it comes to real estate. I know people that are very good at it. I have a couple of friends, and my friend Lookman, he's the one I go to for real estate, tips and what is going on in real estate. So as far as real estate goes, there's something called there's a process in real estate where you could buy a contract, right? You could put a house on contract, right, with the seller, right? And then now the seller contracts the house with you, where you give them earnest money, where that money you give to them is saying that if this house doesn't get sold, like if you waste their time, they get to keep the money within a certain period of time. Okay, so within that period of time, you have an opportunity to find a buyer, make a deal, and then get a cut out of that deal. So that's another way you can take advantage of that. So you go on Facebook, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist. You can find houses, people trying to sell their houses. Okay, and then you could basically make this contract, and then you can give them some earnest money. Once you know that this there has a strong possibility that there's some room for some kind of profit, 10, 20, 50. I've seen people make as much as 100 grand on a property, right? And once you know that value is there, you should go ahead and pull the trigger. And at the end of the day, this would really come through for you. And you will see that you could buy low and sell high and take advantage of the online marketplace system, okay? And then once you do that, you could go on and just keep doing it and doing it and making lots of money. So, guys, thanks so much for watching the video today. These are some of the topics and the areas that I know that you could take advantage of the online market system and make a lot of money using these platforms. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.